what is happening at the border, in what is happening overseas. It is definitively involved in all these wars. I mean,
she is the biggest shill I've ever seen for the Vatican. She is. She's like right in their back pocket. Talk about a modern day, SS right there, woman SS. Seriously. She is the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen. But she has no shame. That's how you know nothing is about God with her. Because she's in the pagan church anyway. But for her, everything she just said here was that she blames Israel for the border problem. There is no evidence whatsoever for that. What there is evidence for, even going back to people in the 1800s, former priests that were in the Catholic Church for 50 years that came out and said, no, the papacy is flooding America's border. Because the more numbers they have of Catholics, the more they control the social and political system. There's no evidence of Israel being in any way involved in our border, okay? But this is how much she bends over for the Vatican. Then she goes on to say that in Congo they're killing Christians, and the Jews have nothing to do with that. Is there even any Jews there? No, there's like 20% Protestants. I don't know if these people, I don't know why people go into these countries when they end up causing all these wars. I understand why the Vatican does it, but because they want to cause war. There's no country they go into that they don't, except here. We've never actually had an outright, well, no, we did, because we had the Civil War. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln knew, and others knew that was a war with the Pope. And then the Revolutionary War was with the papacy too. Thomas Jefferson said that. Lincoln said the Civil War was with Rome more than it was the South, because mainly the South was Catholic, and so the Catholics, whether they realize it or not, they've given their loyalty not to America but to Rome, a foreign power. But Thomas Jefferson had said the Vatican was behind the Revolutionary War because they were controlling the kings of England. And they were. They were, because they were Catholic kings. Because that Vatican was always getting into kingship. So again, they're not about Christ. That's why they don't get anything right about Christ's word. But when she went on to say that the Christians getting killed in the Congo and somehow that's the Jews, no, don't think so, Candace. If anything, it seems there's more Protestants getting killed there. So is it the Catholics doing it? Is it the Vatican? See, when they're the intelligence agency in all these countries, they can say whatever they want. But it's mainly Catholics there. Yeah. And what does the Catholic Church, the Vatican, have a history of doing? Forcing religion on people. I'm not saying they're doing that, but it's everywhere they go, they cause destruction and war. Then the biggest thing that makes her like a walking hypocrite, but she's always a hypocrite, always, always. And she has no shame, so she doesn't care. Like, that's how you know, too, she doesn't care what Jesus thinks, because it's like the biggest thing Jesus hated was hypocrites. He said it so much. That's when would get rageful, was about the hypocrites. And yet she's a walking hypocrite every day. And yet she thinks she's about God. She's about a different God, though, because, over there at the Vatican, it's a different God. Anyway, then she has the audacity of all things to say Israel's causing all these wars. Oh, you absolute shill hypocrite, you are. You want to know what it would take me too long to go by century alone for how many wars the Vatican's been in. Because they don't know peace, they only know war. So here's some key ones. This isn't at all of them. Key wars with the Vatican. German attacks on Rome during the German Civil War, 1081 to 1082, and then 1090 to 1092. The Norman Papal War. This was a battle where Pope Leo IX ended up being captured in 1053. Multiple wars between the Holy Roman Empire and the papacy, 1081 to 1084, 1228 to 1241, 1243 to 1250. Various Italian wars involving the Papal States, like the Ferrara War, 1482 to 1484, the Florentine Papal War, 1485 to 1486, the Neapolitan War, 1494 to 1495, Wars of the League of Cambrai, 1508 to 1509, War of the Holy League, 1510 to 1516, including battles such as the naval battle of Lepanto in 1571, where the Papal States were part of a coalition fighting the Ottoman Empire, wars and occupations tied to the French Revolution, and during the Napoleon periods, including the First and Second Wars of the Coalition, 1792 to 1802, French annexation of Papal States, 1808, 1809, the 19th century revolutions and conflicts affecting the Papal States leading up to Italian unification, the Austro-Papal War in 1707 to 1709, Franco-Papal War in 1660 to 1664. During World War II, the Vatican maintained official neutrality. And Pope Pius, and neutrality meant, hey, you know what, Hitler will look the other way, just continue to let us teach our false religion and our Catholic falseness education. Pope Pius XII was a controversial figure, criticized for his silence on Nazi atrocities while engaging in diplomatic efforts to protect Catholics and doing negotiations behind the scenes. The Vatican also played a significant role in the Crusades starting in 1095, which were religious wars initiated by the popes for over 200 years. And that's not all. There's so many more. So many more. Yet this shill that bends over for her Vatican has the audacity to talk about Israel taking everyone into war. Oh, Candace, talk about it. Possession that's on you that's wicked as hell.